John Stewart McLennan was born in Montreal on the 5th of November 1853. J.S. McLennan, as he was commonly known as, was a businessman, author, newspaper publisher, politician, and a historian. He eventually moved to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and in 1904 he bought the Sydney Post, which would eventually become the Cape Breton Post. At one time, J.S. McLennan was also the director of Dominion Iron and Steel Company and the Dominion Coal Company. He was appointed to the Senate on the 10th of February 1916 for the Sydney, Nova Scotia division following nomination by Prime Minister Robert Borden. Senator McLennan had a deep fascination for the history of the nearby French fortress of Louisbourg, whose ruins he often visited. He and some of his colleagues in the Senate had been educating the federal government and others about Louisbourg. His interests led to approximately 10 years of sifting through archival material in Paris, London, and Ottawa, culminating in the publishing of his book, Louisbourg, From Its Foundation to Its Fall, 1713 to 1758, now considered the definitive work on Louisbourg. In 1928, the federal government appropriated $3,000 for the development of the area and saw the ruins being declared a National Historic Site. Senator McLennan hoped that a preserved Louisbourg would promote a sense of Canadian identity, and in a speech at Kennington Cove near the fortress of Louisbourg in August of 1931, he said that he hoped Louisbourg would, and I quote, "be restored that one may see the form of the town, long ago developed by enterprise and endurance into a place of importance." J.S. McLennan would not live long enough to witness the reconstruction of the fortress, but 3 decades after his speech at Kennington Cove in 1961, the government of Prime Minister John Diefenbaker undertook to fund reconstruction of historic Louisbourg as a 1967 centennial project. This endeavor would provide work for unemployed coal miners and interpret the fortress as a living history museum. From 1963 to 1983, a multi-million-dollar project rebuilt 1/5 of the original town and its fortifications. John Stewart McLennan died on the 15th of September 1939 in Ottawa and was buried in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Many believe that if not for Senator McLennan and some of his colleagues, the reconstruction of the 18th century fortified town of Louisbourg may have never been realized.